By faith, Enoch was taken up so that he would not see death, and he was not found because God took him up, for he obtained the witness that before his being taken up, he was pleasing to God. And then we see the fabulous verse, and without faith it is impossible to please him, for he comes to God. He who comes to God must do what? Must believe that God is. First, he exists. And secondly, he is a rewarder of those who seek him. That's pretty awesome. Without faith, it's impossible to please him. We're all about the jumping. Look, Daddy, look at how I jumped. We're all about the jumping. Look, Daddy, look at how I made no splash. Look, Daddy, look how I... And he's thinking, just trust me. Just trust me. I got you. And so when we don't make it about him, we engage in measuring. And at one point, the scriptures say we compare ourselves to ourselves, and then we have no understanding. A lot of preaching and teaching, a lot of Christian content is about comparing ourselves. We would never say it that way. But let me share with you 3 points, 3 spiritual disciplines you can take home. You know what the assumption is? I'm doing them. You need to be like me. If you would just do the 3 that I'm doing, and by the way, next week I got 3 more. And then the next week, 3 more. And we're going to do a 12-week series, and then we're going to change the name from disciplines to prayer life, which, by the way, you don't have a prayer life. Christ is your life. Prayer life doesn't exist in the Bible. Prayer is talking to Daddy, Father, I trust you. It could be a word, a phrase, a sentence. No King James allowed. Sorry, James. Here's the thing. Christ is our life in everything, and we can change the terminology with trendy movements as they come and go and tell people they need to try harder, do more, and that God is in love with a future version of us. Just around the corner, 1 year from now, with enough giving and enough church attendance and enough small group participation and a little bit of volunteer work, and if you could do this and do that, and if you could just rid yourself of the sins in your life, by the way, if you would just do these things, then right around the corner, God is so in love with you. Oh, he loves you so. That's rejection. That's rejection. God in love with a future version of you is rejection of you now. And you know what fixes that? Righteousness and forgiveness and grace. That's what fixes it, so that you can live in the now with him right here, right now, and trust him. Without faith, it is impossible to please him. This is so weird. I mean, you look at Islam, you look at Mormonism, you look at New Age, you look at the religions of the world, and somehow there's the book and the founder and the rules, and if you just do, it doesn't, what you're thinking in the back of your mind, we're not going to get into that. Just do. If you'll just do, then you're dedicated and committed, and you're working your way up the corporate ladder by what you do. Never mind motive. And then Jesus comes along, Sermon on the Mount, and he says, motive is everything. And you say, what? No, that's not what we learned, sir. And he says, yeah, motive is everything. And he gets to the heart, and he starts talking about chopping off body parts to get yourself fixed. But you know what he's really saying? We're going to need to cut your heart out. That's what it's going to take. I said arm, but ultimately I meant heart. I said hand or eye, but ultimately we're going to pluck out your old heart. We're going to give you a new heart, and that's not anything you could do anyway. So motive is everything, and they had no chance of a new motive until they had a new heart. Without faith, it's impossible to please him. So now, look at you. I hope you'll hear this. You're a believer. And I'm not talking about Justin, believer. I'm talking believer. See, that's a cultural reference. I'm trying to be with it from about 20 years ago. But your identity is believer. You believe. Ephesians 6, what does it say in verse 24? You, as a believer, have an undying love for Jesus. That means you'll never stop loving, and to quote a famous song, you'll never stop believing. You see that? That's a big deal. So this faith thing, what I'm saying is, please hear this. This is not something you have to go hunting for. Oh man, great message on faith. Oh, where could I find this faith? Gee, oh man, maybe a little more Bible reading and I'll get it. You know, I look at the older Christians, maybe 3-5 more years and I'll have it, right? Where could I have this faith? And God says, it's implanted. You got all the faith you need. I put it in you. Faith, a gift of God so that nobody can boast. The faith of Jesus in you, Christ in you. Blessed, every spiritual blessing, everything you need for life and godliness. Do you need faith? Yeah, I need faith. You got it. Everything you need.